It's that time. Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh. Santa's on his way. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation. Got a ton of stuff to celebrate. Now it's getting closer, I can't wait. Gonna make this holiday as perfect as can be. Just wait and see this Christmas vacation. This old house sure is looking good. Got ourselves the finest snowman in the neighborhood. Ain't it fun? Always on the run. That's how it's done on Christmas vacation. Let's all let the hose and light the lights. Get a toasted fire burning bright. Give St. Nick the warmest welcome that he's ever had. We're so glad it's Christmas vacation. And when the nights are peaceful and serene, we can cuddle up and do our Christmas dreaming. Peace and joy and love are everywhere. You can feel the magic in the air. Let the spirit of the season carry us away. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation.
Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation. We're so glad it's Christmas vacation.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas, and welcome to Across the Goal Line, a sports podcast. I am your host, the Encyclopedia of Sports, Luke Austin. You can find Across the Goal Line on all social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here on YouTube, so be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. All the links are down in the description below. Today, NFL Week 16 kicks off on Saturday. Got 2 games on Saturday again this week. No Thursday night game. Today is Thursday night, a couple days before Christmas 2017. Got a college football bowl game tonight, the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl between Temple and Florida International. Down in the Trop, down in St. Pete, down in Tampa there, where the Tampa Bay Rays play at. They just traded Evan Longoria the other day to the San Francisco Giants. So that was some big news in the baseball world. But today, NFL Week 16, got 2 more weeks left this week and then Week 17. Playoff picture is winding down. Teams are eliminated. Some teams need to win out. Some teams need other teams to lose to make the playoffs. We'll have to see what happens. That's why they play the games. But this past week, Week 15, probably saw the best game of the year so far. As I said, we still got 2 weeks left, and then the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl. We all saw what happened in the Super Bowl last year between the Patriots and Falcons. The Pats came back from down 28-3 and ended up winning the game in overtime, the first overtime Super Bowl in NFL history. But Week 15 was last week. The Broncos defeated the Colts. I didn't preview that game if you watched or listened to the Week 15 predictions. Hopefully you did. If you did, thanks. If you didn't, be sure to go do so. It's 2 videos before this video. I previewed Clash of Champions. That was a pretty decent pay-per-view for the WWE this past Sunday, which was on the WWE Network. Now the next pay-per-view for the WWE is not going to be until the Royal Rumble. They'll have NXT TakeOver Philadelphia the night before, also streaming live on the WWE Network, which is only $9.99 a month. But so I'm going to have to wait, until the end of January to preview WWE. So if you like wrestling, you're not going to get any new videos for about another month. So go listen to that Clash of Champions preview if you want to listen to some wrestling discussion. And then also Cultural Bowl games are obviously going on. They started this past Saturday. I've won some games. I've lost some games. I knew that was going to happen regardless. But as I said tonight, got the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. Probably one of the best bowl game names this year, in my opinion. As I said, Temple's playing Florida International, and I think I picked Florida International. But if you really want to know who I picked, because I can't remember off the top of my head, like I said, I think I picked Florida International. Go listen to my college football bowl game predictions, as that video would be, I believe, the third video before this. All that would be greatly appreciated. As I said, also you can like, follow, and subscribe across the goal line on all social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then you're obviously listening to this here on YouTube. All the links are down in the description below. My Twitter and Instagram handles are also down in the description below, so if you want to give me a follow as well, you can do that as well. So, as I said, Week 15, the NFL kicked off last Thursday. I didn't preview the game because I thought it was going to be a shit show. The Broncos ended up defeating the Colts. It turned out to be a decent game late. Trevor Siemian went down for the Broncos. Osweiler came in. The Colts really haven't done shit this year. They've had some close games. They have won some games as well, I believe 3 games. But they're going to be getting a top 5 pick as of right now in the 2018 NFL drafts. Do they move on from Andrew Luck? I don't think they should. It's going to be a big discussion, I think, in the coming months, just because with how deep the quarterback draft class is this year. And Andrew Luck, he really hasn't been healthy since 2014. So, do you move on from the guy who you drafted number 1 to replace Peyton Manning, who you also drafted number 1? We'll see. But the Broncos defeated the Colts 25-13 as I look at my notes. The Lions defeated the Bears then on Saturday 20-10. The Chiefs also defeated the Chargers on Saturday as well, 30-13. I believe the Chargers lose one more game. They're out of the playoffs. They are eliminated. Could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure with losing to Kansas City last week, they lose one more game, and they play the New York football, or the New York Jets. I don't know why I'm getting that mixed up. It's the New York Football Giants and the New York Jets. But the Chargers play the Jets in East Rutherford this weekend, so you got to come cross country. And the Jets looked pretty damn good with Bryce Petty, I thought, against the Saints down in New Orleans last week. They ended up losing the game because Drew Brees is Drew Brees, and Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara are both Pro Bowl selections this year. So Kamara is probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I can't think of anybody that could potentially, beat him in that category. If you think there's somebody else, let me know down in the comments below. But Chargers defeated the Chiefs. As I said, the Saints defeated the Jets 31-19. The Bills defeated the Dolphins 24-16. The Panthers defeated the Packers in Aaron Rodgers' first game back from his injury. They lost. They're eliminated from the playoffs. First time since 2008 that the Packers are not making the playoffs, not going to the playoffs. That was also Rodgers' first season as a starter. They brought him back for the game against the Panthers to see how he'd do. Threw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, but they lost the game, so they're eliminated from the playoffs, and they officially shut him down for the season. So he's going to be getting healthy, and he'll be a full go by training camp. So no need to worry, Green Bay Packer fans, about Aaron Rodgers. The Redskins hosted the Cardinals, defeated them by 5, 20-15. The Rams absolutely destroyed Seattle in Seattle, and that Legion of Boom defense. Todd Gurley had one hell of a day. The Rams defeated the Seahawks 42-7. And then the Patriots defeated the Steelers Sunday afternoon at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. As I said a little bit ago, Week 15 saw, as of right now, up to this point, I think, the best game of the season so far between the Pats and the Steelers. Pittsburgh was up, I believe, 8 with about 8 to go as well in the fourth quarter. And Pittsburgh couldn't get anything going. New England got the ball back, ended up scoring, went for 2, made the 2, was up 3 then, 27-24. They kicked a field goal before that as well, so it was 24-19. Not 24-16, because then that 8 would have been tied at 24. So it's 24-19. They scored, went for 2, made 27-24 then. And then the big discussion early in the week, and still to today, and probably it's going to be talked about for years to come, especially in Pittsburgh, about how the refs, made a called it a touchdown on the field, went to review, ended up being an incomplete pass. So I thought it was a touchdown. Today now, the thing is, what is a catch? That's the big thing everybody's been talking about. What is a catch? Because it looked clearly like, and you're currently looking at the picture, he caught the ball, took 2 steps, and controlled the ball, and went down. Yeah, his knee hit down at the 1, but then it looked like, to a lot of people, especially New England Patriots fans, that he juggled the ball, bobbled it as he was going down, across the goal line too, by the way. I thought that was so funny. Everybody was saying across the goal line, did he break the plane, early on in the week after that game. And I should have made a meme or something, but I didn't. I didn't feel like it. But to Steelers fans, it was a catch. I thought it was a catch. Patriots fans, it wasn't. And New England came away with a win. Pittsburgh ended up, they still had the ball because it was rolled an incomplete pass, and then they couldn't punch it in the end zone after that and ended up losing. And now it looks like New England's going to be getting the number 1 seed in the AFC, and home field is going to have to go through Foxborough. But we'll see. We'll see what the matchups are in the playoffs. Who's going to be playing each other in the wild card rounds, and then as of now, New England is going to get a bye unless they lose out, and then Pittsburgh, say, wins out, and the Jaguars do too. And I think then Pittsburgh and Jacksonville would be the 1 and 2 seeds. But because New England defeated Pittsburgh, New England is basically a lock, either at 1 or 2, depending on what the Steelers do. But if the Steelers lose to, say, the Texans, which hope lose to either, if I had to choose to have them lose to one team, it'd be the Texans. I don't want them to lose to the winless Browns, who have not won a game and God knows how long. I think it was Christmas Eve last year as a perfect Christmas gift for them, but they haven't won since. I don't think they've won on a Sunday in, I don't know how many years. I think Johnny Manziel was still the quarterback for them, for God's sakes. But where was I going? No, anyways, Patriots defeated the Steelers. I'll end on that. I don't want to really ramble on tonight. So trying to just recap real quick and preview week 16 and have a happy holiday, and hopefully you guys do as well. Hopefully you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm going to be back next week as well. I'll recap week 16 and preview week 17, the final week of the NFL season. As it's sad as it's coming to an end, but it is what it is. We knew it was going to be here before we knew it anyway. So let me ask you guys something. You guys can let me know down in the comments below, or you can tweet out across the goal line at ATGL16 or at CoolHandLuke96. That's my Twitter handle. Do you guys think it was a catch or not a catch? So just let me know. I thought it was a catch. A lot of people did think it was a catch, and then a lot of people thought it wasn't a catch. And like I said, the big thing now is, what is a catch? Because it clearly looked like he caught the ball and broke the plane across the goal line. No pun intended. Well, yeah, there was a little pun intended in that, but he scored, but obviously rolled an incomplete pass. It is what it is. Move on. It's only one game. It did mean a lot, but New England probably be getting the 1 seed. Pittsburgh 2 unless they lose, as I said, and then Jacksonville, remember, has that win against Pittsburgh back at the beginning of October. So Jacksonville could potentially, as they are going to the playoffs for the first time since 2007. It's been 10 years since the Jacksonville Jaguars have been in the playoffs. And I wish them best of luck. Last year I picked them to make the playoffs and they shit the bed. And this year they're coming out of, I shouldn't say nowhere, because I knew they had talent. They've had talent, they just haven't been able to put it together because of poor play from Blake Bortles. And I don't think you need to discuss whether or not you need to get rid of him or re-sign him. You need to re-sign him. He's had the best season in his NFL career this year, and that's why the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. But Jacksonville could potentially be the 2 seed if Pittsburgh loses and Jacksonville wins out because of that head-to-head win. But I think how it's going to be, I think New England's going to be 1, Pittsburgh's going to be 2, obviously, because of that game. Jacksonville's going to be 3. Kansas City's going to be 4 because they beat LA, and the AFC West is only going to get 1 team in. And then 5 and 6 right now. You're looking at the Bills and the Ravens and the Chargers. And who else is there? There's one more team in the AFC. It is who is it? I don't have it in front of me, so I'm trying to think. I think the Raiders are sitting there as well, but they lost to the Cowboys. They play Philly this week on Monday night, the last Monday night game of the year. Got 2 Christmas games. I'll preview those here in a minute. Can't remember who that other team is. I know there's one more team I think that could potentially be the 5 or 6 seed in the playoffs. But who cares? These games are going to, be played, and teams are going to win and lose regardless. And we will eventually, in about 2 weeks' time, be starting the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. And then we'll have our matchups, and we'll know who's playing each other. In about 2 weeks' time as well, I'll be previewing the wild card rounds and potentially, make my remake my Super Bowl prediction, as I said last week I had, or in the Clash of Champions video, I had the Buccaneers and Raiders in a rematch, Super Bowl 37 this year and Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis. So we'll see what I do. Hopefully you're still with me. I know I rambled on there. I said I wasn't going to, but I ended up doing it anyway. Oh well. Recap. 2 more games on Sunday. The Cowboys defeated the Raiders. So I want to know, do you think it was a catch or not? Cowboys defeated the Raiders on Sunday night, 20-17. And then on Monday Night Football, the Falcons defeated the Buccaneers, who I had in the Super Bowl. So both teams who had in the Super Bowl lost Sunday night and Monday night. Falcons defeated the Buccaneers 24-21. John Gruden was inducted into the Buccaneers Ring of Honor. Legendary Buccaneers head coach, led the team to their only Super Bowl victory, and really the Buccaneers really haven't done anything special since Gruden was there. They haven't made the playoffs since he was there. With the last playoff appearance, I believe, was when they were in the Super Bowl. I could be mistaken on that. I know the Raiders had that as well, but I believe the Buccaneers were also in that category. But that's Week 16. I didn't think there really was a big upset. I already said the best game potentially of the year up to this point. Like I said, we still got the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Patriots Steelers is the best game, and then impressed the Rams because he went to Seattle against that defense. I know they've been banged up, but they put up 42. Gurley, as I said, had a hell of a day. LA, if they beat Tennessee on Sunday, they win the NFC West, more than likely making the playoffs for the first time since 2004. Could see a lot of streaks broken this year for the playoffs, as the Bills could potentially make the playoffs for the first time since 1999. They're the only team in any major sport that has not made the playoffs this century. Every other team in every other sport, professional sport, has made the playoffs since 2000, except the Buffalo Bills. So hopefully the Bills can circle the wagons, make the playoffs for the first time since 99. And I think it'd be good for football. The Rams, as I said, could potentially end their drought as well. Go back to the playoffs for the first time since 2004. Would be the first time they go back to the playoffs as the LA Rams for the first time since the 90s, whenever they were playing in LA before they went back to St. Louis. But the Rams impressed, disappointed. On the flip side of that, the Seahawks, I thought they would have played better. I picked the Seahawks in that game. And by the way, I went 4-6 last week. I don't think I said that, week 15. Past 2 weeks, I've been below 500. I don't think I've had 2 straight weeks of below 500 NFL picks this season. So I'm a little disappointed in myself there. But, you pick who you think's going to win, and then the games, will play itself out, and you either win or lose. So it's basically the luck of the draw. So that was recapping last week. I will preview this week now. We got 2 games on Saturday, the 23rd, and then we got games on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, on Sunday, and then 2 games on Christmas, one at 4:30 on NBC, and then the other at 8:30 on ESPN for Monday Night Football, the last Monday Night Football game of the 2017-18 NFL season. The Colts go to Baltimore on Saturday afternoon. Ravens will win because the Colts suck this year. I talked about it a little bit ago. The Vikings go to Green Bay to play the Packers. Last time these two teams played, that was the game Aaron Rodgers got hurt. He's obviously not playing now because the Packers are out of the playoffs. Did they rush him back? No, he was healthy. He was fine to go. Was he 100%? Probably not, but, at this point in the season, who is 100% in the NFL? Everybody's banged up. Everybody's banged up in college football, too. So, it's how the game's played. There's going to be injuries whether you like it or not. And as I said before, this year it was ridiculous. We had how many injuries this year? I thought it was the year of the injury. I think that's what you can call this season in the NFL, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on that. As Antonio Brown went down in that Steelers-Patriots game on Sunday, he tore his quad up, and he's going to be out for about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Could be back, could not be back for the playoffs. We'll have to see, depending on if they have to play in the wild card round or they get a bye. and it'd be nice if they got a bye because then he'd be more healthy. But as I said, the last time these two teams played, the Vikings and Pack, Aaron Rodgers went down, the Vikings ended up winning, and the Packers really hadn't been the same since. And I know they're playing at home, but the Vikings, they just locked up the NFC North. They're just too good. They're too hot. I picked against them when I shouldn't have this year, and I regret it, because my overall record would, be better than what it is now. But oh well, as I said, that's why. That's just how picking is. It's pick 'em. So Vikings will win. So that game is also Saturday night. Both these games, I believe, will be on NFL Network, like the two games last week were. And we got college football bowl games this Saturday as well. Got two college games tomorrow, Friday, and I believe we've got 3 or 4 on Saturday. So I'll be watching football. Hell, I've been watching football for all season, for every season of my whole life, just because I love football so much. But I'll be watching football, and then that's how I'll spend my Christmas Eve and Christmas as well. After I open up some gifts, and after the people I got gifts for open theirs as well, and hopefully they enjoy them. And hopefully you guys like your gifts, and hopefully you guys have bought gifts for your loved ones. As it's the holiday season, 'tis the season. Everybody should come together and rejoice, as they like to say. And as I said before, and I'll probably say it again at the end of the episode, hopefully everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The Chargers then go to the Jets on Sunday. The Jets, I think, will win. Chargers coming across country. They played in New England earlier in the year, in the cold, real rainy, and they almost beat New England on the road. It came down to the wire, but New England was, New England. But the Jets, I think they're just playing. 2 weeks ago they got blown out by the Broncos on the road, but the first game with Bryce Petty starting this year, they played good, but they were playing a better team in the Saints last weekend, and that's why they ended up losing. But I think the Jets, because they're playing at home, the Chargers are coming across country, I think the Jets will win on Sunday. The Lions then go to Cincinnati on Sunday as well. And the next, I don't know how many games are on Sunday, and then the last 2 are on Monday, Christmas Day. Lions, Bengals, Marvin Lewis could potentially be fired, could potentially step down as the Bengals head coach. Longest reigning, I believe, head coach in the NFL right now. He's been there 15 years. He's basically the only coach I know, for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know if he does get fired, what it's going to be like, next year if they have somebody else at the helm. It's going to be different. It's going to be weird. But the Lions, if I had to pick somebody to win this game, the Lions are just too good. They played decent last week against the Bears. The Bears, come on late. They could potentially be firing John Fox. We'll see how that goes. But the Bengals, I'm going to change my pick. I have the Lions down. I am going to change my pick. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals at home, and they're going to give Marvin Lewis a great Christmas present. So I just changed my pick there in my notes. The Bengals are going to give their coach a great Christmas gift and have him go out a winner. I don't know who they play week 17. Because there is a lot of speculation on whether or not he's going to be the head coach next year. I hope he is, but at the same time, Cincinnati has not gone far in the playoffs ever since he's been there, and he's been there 15 years. So 15 years is probably 15 years too long, but we'll see what they end up doing. So I did just change my pick. I was going to take the Lions because I thought they were better, but Cincinnati playing home, Christmas time, you know, take the Bengals. The Bungles, I should say. The Dolphins then go to KC to play the Chiefs. You got to take the Chiefs. Cutler, I believe, went down against the Bills. The Bills have been playing well, though. But Kansas City, after they went on a 6, 7, 8 game losing streak, or losing 6 of 7 or 7 of 8, they've played well the past 3 weeks. Looked good against the Chargers, the LA Chargers, on last Saturday night. So I'm going to take the Chiefs again. The Bills, speaking of the Bills, they go to New England to play the Patriots. A couple weeks ago when these two teams met, Patriots and Bills were, I believe, tied, or 6-3 or 9-3 at halftime, New England. But then in the second half, New England just came out and blew them out of the water. I don't remember what the final score was, but it wasn't pretty. But New England, I should take Buffalo, but New England's playing at home, so I got to take the Pats. Hopefully the Bills do make the playoffs, so it'd be great for the NFL. It'd be great for sports. It'd be one of those stories, making the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. The last time they were in the playoffs, they ended up losing to the Titans in that Music City Miracle down in Nashville. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just search that here on YouTube after you're done listening to this video. Falcons and Saints meet again in about the same amount of time as the Bills and Pats, as these two teams played on Thursday night a couple weeks ago. Falcons won at home, playing in New Orleans now though, and I think the Saints will get revenge. This NFC South race is going to come down to the last week of the year. Anybody other than the Buccaneers can win this division. Just got to let the games play out. I think the Falcons will probably win the division, and then the Saints will make the playoffs as a wild card, depending on what happens with Dallas and Seattle as they play. I'll get to that game here in a couple games. And who else is there? I think Detroit's sitting there in the wild card picture as well. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head because, as I said a little bit ago, I don't have a playoff picture in front of me at the moment. But Saints will beat the Falcons, and then the Rams, they go to Nashville. Just talked about the Titans and that Music City Miracle against the Bills back in '99. Rams will win. As I said, if they win, they win the division, NFC West. I think they do that, and they'll make the playoffs for the first time since '04. So, as I said, a lot of droughts, a lot of streaks are going to be broken, and in this case, that's a good thing. As normally when streaks are broken, it's somewhat of an upset in, say, college basketball or whatnot. Wofford defeated North Carolina the other night. It was their first win against a top 25 team in program history, so congrats to Wofford over North Carolina. I was happy about that because I'm a Duke fan, so anytime Carolina loses, and vice versa for Carolina fans, anytime Duke loses, they're going to be happy. But the Rams will defeat the Titans. The Titans are, I think, another team in the AFC I couldn't think about there a moment ago. Yeah, the Titans have to be that other team that I couldn't think about, because I don't think there's anybody else on the playoff hunt. Could be wrong. I'll probably look it up after I get done recording. I'm a little too lazy to look it up now, or I can't look it up now. But Jaguars, so I'm going to take the Rams. Jaguars go out west to play the 49ers. Jags are already in the playoffs, battling for position. But the 49ers, they've won, I believe, 3 of their last 4, 3 in a row. Robbie Gould kicked 6 field goals last week, and he had 19 points, of 19 of the 25 points the 49ers had against the Titans last week. So the Titans, I think they'll lose 2 in a row there. I think they'll lose to the Rams. Playing 2 NFC West teams back to back. But 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo has ever since he came over from New England, and ever since they started him, they waited a couple weeks. He's been playing outstanding. First quarterback since Big Ben Roethlisberger to win his first 5 starts of his career. So he's in some pretty good company there. But 49ers, I think they win again. They're playing. They're hot now. If they would have played better earlier in the year, not have started 0-9. I think they started. Potentially they could be in the playoff hunt right now. Potentially winning the NFC West or making as a wild card. But the future's bright if they do decide to keep Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback. As I said, there is a lot of quarterbacks in this year's draft class, and a lot of quarterbacks are going to be free agents. One, a lot of people have been talking about to go to San Francisco, depending on what the Washington Redskins do with him, and that's Kirk Cousins, whether they, re-sign him to another franchise tag or lock him up long term. It's gonna, that's probably going to depend on how everything shakes out, what the hell the Redskins do with Kirk Cousins. And they're probably going to wait till the last minute, too, to do so. But, we'll see. Future's bright, though, I think, for the Niners and for the Rams. Jared Goff and that offense and their defense playing terrific this year. So, 49ers beat Jags are already in the playoffs, so they can afford to lose the game. The Seahawks then go to Dallas to play the Cowboys Sunday afternoon on Fox, as there is no Sunday night game this week. There are 2 games on Saturday. One might be on NBC. I don't think so. I think they're both on NFL Network, as I said. But then that NBC game, there is an NBC game on Monday, the Steelers-Texans game. I'll get to that here next. So both Texas teams are playing at home Christmas weekend. So if you're a Cowboy or Texans fan, go to the game. Maybe you got tickets for Christmas. But the Seahawks, I really want to pick them, but Zeke's coming back for the Cowboys from his suspension. He's been gone the past 6 games. Reportedly slimmed down, lost some weight, put on a lot of muscle, and he's rested up. Unlike, as I said, a lot of guys are banged up right now. Zeke's rested up, and I think Dallas runs him like crazy Sunday afternoon. Potentially, I think could have close to 200 yards if Seattle plays like they played last week against the Rams. If they step it up, though, and shut them down, the Seahawks could, win. But I'm going to take Dallas. So, and hopefully they can make the playoffs. I think this year I would rather see the Cowboys over the Seahawks in the playoffs. No offense to Seahawks fans, especially just right now because we haven't seen Zeke for 6 games. Who knows how he's going to play, and then who knows how he's going to play in the playoffs. If that team gets around him and gets around Dak, their defense starts to step it up, Dallas could potentially make a run. We'll see. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Steelers-Texans Monday on Christmas. Merry Christmas. I got to take the Steelers, obviously. Battle of the Watt brothers. JJ's not playing now. He's hurt. He's been hurt. DJ's going to be playing. This will be the first time that will be happening in TJ's career. I believe JJ's played against his other brother Derek, as the Watts have 3 brothers in the National Football League. Derek plays for the Los Angeles Chargers as a fullback, and then both JJ and TJ are DNs, outside linebackers, and obviously play for the Texans and Pittsburgh Steelers. But I got to take Pittsburgh, coming off a loss. Go on the road now, playing on Christmas Day for the 2nd straight year. They beat Baltimore at home last year on Christmas. And, speaking of Antonio Brown, and across the goal line, the ball breaking the plane. Remember in that game, he stretched the ball across the goal line, and, basically that's what won the Steelers that game and locked up the AFC North. And then Pittsburgh ended up, losing to New England in the AFC title game. But, it is what it is. Raiders and Eagles then, both Pennsylvania teams are playing on Christmas Day. So both Texas teams, as I said, are playing Christmas weekend at home. But both Pennsylvania teams are playing on Christmas Day. So I think you can see you can understand what Pennsylvanians are going to be doing on Christmas Day. They're going to be watching football, whether you're a Steeler fan or an Eagle fan, along with the rest of the country. But Pittsburgh wins and Philly wins. Oakland's coming across country. I know they're playing on Monday night, but the Raiders, they came close last week against the Cowboys at home. They really haven't played good at all this year. That's why they're on the outside looking in right now in the playoff hunt. I really wanted the Raiders in the playoffs. I really wanted them in the Super Bowl, but it's obviously not going to happen. Eagles, Foles, do you think he could lead them to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't think. Not so. Not right now, at least, I should say. He played good last week through 4 touchdowns against the Giants, but that team is just not going to be the same, I don't think, without Carson Wentz. And this will probably be the first tough test since losing Wentz. I know they beat LA in that game, but they played the Giants last week. And they were down. The Eagles were down in that game and ended up coming back and winning. But this will be like the first tough test. I think they play the Raiders. I know they're not as good, as I said. And then next week they play the Cowboys at home to wrap up the season. So I'm going to take the Eagles. So let me run down through these here real quick. 2 games on Saturday. Ravens over Colts. Vikings over Packers. The other games then this week, the ones on Sunday, I'm going to take the Jets over the Chargers, the Bengals over the Lions, the Chiefs over the Dolphins, the Patriots over the Bills, the Saints over the Falcons, the Rams over the Titans, the 49ers over the Jaguars, the Cowboys over the Seahawks, and then the 2 games on Monday on Christmas, the Steelers over the Texans, and the Eagles over the Oakland Raiders. As I said, hopefully everybody has a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'll be back next week. I'll recap Week 16 and preview Week 17.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops listen and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. So then I am dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write.
May those days, may your days be merry and bright. Christmas Eve.